AITA for refusing to reconcile with my ex-husband. After he abandoned our kids during my cancer treatment? Alright, I'm spilling everything here because I'm torn, and I need to know if I'm too stubborn or justified. I'm a 38-year-old single mom, and my ex-husband Mark, 40M, recently reached out wanting to stroll back into my life and our kids' lives like nothing happened. I told him I'm not ready to open that door, and now I'm wondering if I'm the jerk for shutting him down. This is a long, messy story, so bear with me. For context, Mark and I were married for 8 years, and we have 2 incredible kids, Ella, 12F, and Liam, 9M. Back when we were together, I thought we had a good thing going. Not perfect, but we were partners. We'd take the kids to the park, cuddle up for movie nights, and had this silly tradition of making animal-shaped pancakes every Sunday. Then, 6 years ago, when I was 32, everything changed. I found a lump in my breast, and after tests, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. It wasn't just a diagnosis. It was like my whole life imploded. Let me walk you through what that time was like, because it's hard to grasp unless you've been there. Chemo started soon after, and it turned my body into a stranger. I'd wake up feeling like I'd been hit by a truck, my bones aching so bad I could barely move, my stomach churning with nausea. I'd spend hours hunched over the toilet, vomiting until I was empty, trying to stay quiet so Ella and Liam wouldn't hear and get scared. My hair fell out in clumps, and I'd cry staring at myself in the mirror, seeing someone I didn't recognize. I went from being a mom to feeling like a shadow, pale, bald, and barely hanging on. The exhaustion was brutal. Some days, I couldn't get out of bed, but I had to because Ella was 6 and Liam was 3, and they needed me. I'd drag myself to the kitchen, clutching the counter to keep from fainting, just to pour them cereal. Ella would beg me to play dolls, and I'd try, but I'd end up slumped on the couch, struggling to stay awake. Liam would crawl into my lap, asking why I was always tired, and I'd invent stories about needing a superhero nap to keep him from worrying. At night, I'd lie awake, my chest stinging from radiation, terrified I wouldn't live to see them grow up. I'd picture Ella's high school graduation or Liam learning to drive, and I'd sob, unsure if I'd be there. Mark was my anchor at first, or so I thought. He'd drive me to early appointments, hold my hand during my first chemo, whispering, "We'll get through this, babe." I believed him. When I was too weak to cook, he'd make sure the kids ate, even if it was just boxed mac and cheese. But 3 months in, things shifted. I was deep in the worst of it, chemo giving me mouth sores that made eating torture. I'd wince swallowing plain broth, and I'd lost so much weight my clothes hung off me. Random fevers would hit, leaving me shivering under blankets in summer, too frail to call for help. I needed Mark more than ever, but he started to fade. He'd stay out later, saying he needed to unwind after work. If I tried to talk about my fears, like dying and leaving the kids, he'd shut down, muttering, "I can't deal with that now," or just leave the room. One night, after a chemo session that left me too weak to tuck the kids in, he sat me down. My brain was so foggy I could barely think, and he said, "This is too much. I'm losing myself." I just stared, too drained to respond. A week later, he packed a bag and left. No goodbye to the kids, no explanation, just gone. He moved in with a friend across town and cut contact completely. Let me be real clear. He didn't just abandon me while I was fighting to stay alive. He abandoned Ella and Liam too. Ella would cry herself to sleep, asking why Daddy wasn't home. Liam would wander around, pointing at Mark's empty chair at dinner, saying, "Daddy come back?" I had no answers. I was too busy surviving, dragging myself to treatments, forcing myself to be there for the kids, even when I felt like I was fading. I found out from a friend that Mark started dating someone new a month after he left. A month! I was still throwing up, barely able to function, and he was moving on. I filed for divorce during treatment because I couldn't handle the uncertainty. The divorce finalized a year later, and Mark didn't even show up to court. Those years were a haze of pain and grit. My mom moved in to help with the kids when I couldn't manage. My sister drove hours to drop off meals or take Ella to school. Neighbours brought food, and my best friend sat with me during treatments, cracking jokes to keep me going. But Mark? Nothing. No calls, no texts, no "how are the kids?" He didn't pay a cent of court-ordered child support. I was mom and dad, rebuilding our lives while my body was breaking. I'll never forget Ella crawling into my bed one night, tears streaming, asking, "Did Daddy leave because you're sick?" That gutted me. I told her it wasn't her fault, but inside, I was raging at Mark for putting that on her. Now, here we are. By some miracle, I'm in remission. It's been a long road, surgeries, therapy, clawing my way back to health, but I'm here. The kids and I have a good life. We've got a cozy house near my mom, a steady routine, and the kids are thriving. Ella's into art, always sketching these incredible drawings, and Liam's a soccer nut, outrunning me in the backyard. We've all been in therapy to heal from the trauma, and while they carry scars from Mark's absence, they're happy kids. I've worked hard to give them stability, and I'm proud of it. Then, a month ago, Mark emails me out of nowhere. It's this long apology, saying he's been in therapy, he's changed, and he regrets abandoning us. He claims he was in a dark place, overwhelmed, and didn't know how to cope. He wants to meet up, talk, and eventually reconnect with Ella and Liam. He even offered to start paying child support, like that's some big sacrifice. I read it and just sat there, floored. Part of me wanted to scream, how dare he think he can just come back after leaving me when I was at my weakest, barely able to be a mom? Another part felt a flicker of pity. He sounded sincere, like he'd faced his mistakes, But then I thought about the kids. Ella remembers him leaving. She's told me she doesn't want to see him. She's angry, and I get it. Liam barely knows him. He was so little when Mark left, but he's sensitive, and I'm worried about how this would hit him. I kept imagining Mark promising to show up and then ghosting again, leaving them crushed like before. I couldn't bear that, so I replied, keeping it short and firm. I said I appreciated his apology, but I'm not ready to let him back in. I told him I can't trust him not to hurt the kids again after he left us when I was fighting to survive. Too sick to be the mom they needed. I said if he's serious about making things right, he can start by paying the back child support he owes. It's a lot, since he's never paid. I suggested we could revisit things in a few years, but not now. He didn't take it well. He wrote back saying I'm being unfair, punishing him for a past mistake and not giving him a chance to prove he's different. Some mutual friends have piped up saying I should let him see the kids because they deserve a father. My sister backs me, but my mom's torn, saying maybe he's grown and I should hear him out. Here's my dilemma. I don't want to rob Ella and Liam of a dad if Mark's truly changed. I know kids can benefit from both parents, and I'd hate to think I'm blocking that. But when I consider letting him in, I'm back in those days, curled up in bed, too weak to move, hearing Ella cry for her dad while I struggled to explain why he was gone. I've spent years building a safe, stable life for them, and risking that for someone who ditched us when I was fighting to live feels wrong. Plus, he owes so much child support, I'm skeptical he'd even follow through. I've had moments where I wondered if I'm failing my kids by doing this solo. I just want to protect them. So, AITA for refusing to reconcile with Mark right now, or am I right to keep that door closed until I'm sure he won't hurt us again? Update 1. A few weeks later. Wow, I didn't expect so many people to care about my family drama. Thanks for all the feedback. It's been helpful to see different viewpoints, and it's made me feel less alone in this mess. Here's what's gone down since my post. I talked to Ella and Liam separately to check in on how they feel about their dad without mentioning Mark's email. I wanted their honest thoughts. Ella was straight up. She remembers him leaving, it hurt her, and she's still mad. She said she's scared he'll vanish again and doesn't want to see him. It broke my heart, but I was proud of her for speaking up. Liam's different. He doesn't remember much, but he asked if Daddy would play soccer with him. That stung. I had to hold back tears and said, "Maybe someday, buddy, but for now, it's you and me." I'm keeping things gentle for him, but it's tough. I also met with my therapist, who's been a godsend since my diagnosis. She helped me unpack why I'm so hesitant. She said I'm not just protecting the kids, I'm protecting myself. Mark's abandonment wasn't just about them, it was about me too. I trusted him to be my partner, and he left me to face cancer alone. That's not something I can just forget, even if he's waving a therapy badge now. Mark called me, and I let it go to voicemail, not ready for a live talk. He left a message saying he started paying child support, small amounts, but it's a start. He said he's serious about proving himself and asked to meet up, just us, to talk about the kids, promising not to push them. I haven't replied. Part of me wants to hear him out, but another part's screaming, "Too late. My sister says I should meet him to test his sincerity, but my best friend thinks he's just soothing his guilt and doesn't deserve my time. I've been documenting everything, his emails, the voicemail, the payments, or lack thereof until now. If this goes legal, I want to be prepared." Some of you suggested a lawyer, and I talked to one. She said I'm within my rights to limit contact since Mark's been absent and hasn't met his obligations. She mentioned that if he wants to see the kids, he'd likely need supervised visits given his history. That gave me some peace of mind, but it also made this feel so real. The kids are okay, but Ella's been quieter, maybe sensing my stress. I've got her in therapy weekly to help her process. Liam's his usual energetic self, but I'm watching him closely. I just want them to feel secure and loved. So that's where things stand. I'm still not ready to let Mark in, but I'm feeling less guilty about it thanks to your input. I'm trying to balance what's best for the kids with my need to heal from his betrayal. I'll update if anything big happens, like if I meet him or he pulls another disappearing act. AITA for holding firm, or am I doing right by keeping my guard up? Update 2. A couple months later. Hey everyone, I'm back with more because things have shifted and I'm still sorting through it. Thanks for all the support. It's been a strange comfort to know people are cheering for me and my kids. I met Mark. Yeah, big move. After his voicemail, I mulled it over with my therapist and sister. I decided to hear him out, but I set rules. Public place, a coffee shop near my job, no talk of rekindling, and the focus stays on the kids. He agreed, and we met last month. Seeing him was odd. He looked older, greyer, worn out, but he was polite, almost nervous. He apologized again, diving deeper into why he left. He said my cancer diagnosis crushed him, and he felt powerless watching me suffer. He admitted he leaned on alcohol, which sent him spiraling, running from everything, me, the kids, his duties. He says he's been in therapy 2 years, sober now. He showed me a pay stub proving he's paying child support regularly, though it's a fraction of what he owes. I listened but didn't hold back. I told him about Ella crying, asking why he didn't love us, about explaining to Liam why his dad missed his first soccer game. I said I fought cancer for them while he was off starting over. He teared up, said he knows he failed us and he'll spend his life making it right if I let him. It was heavy, and I'll admit, I felt a bit for him. But I also felt this cold anger like, where was this regret when I needed him? We discussed the kids. I was firm. Ella's not ready and I won't push her. Liam's curious, but I'm not rushing. Mark asked to write them letters, not to send yet, but to have ready when they're open. I said I'd think about it. I told him to keep up the child support and prove he's stable for a year before I'd consider supervised visits. He agreed, said he'd do anything. I left feeling drained, but like I'd reclaimed some control by setting boundaries. Since then, Mark's stuck to it so far. He's paid child support regularly and emails weekly with updates, new job, therapy progress, without pushing. I've barely responded, just noted the payments. Ella's still against seeing him, but she's opening up in therapy, which helps. Liam asked about him, and I said Daddy's working on being better, but it'll take time. He seemed fine with that. Here's the curveball. A mutual friend told me Mark's girlfriend, the one he dated right after leaving, dumped him a year ago. Apparently she got fed up with his baggage, us. I'm wondering if that's why he's reaching out. Loneliness, guilt, or both. It's made me warier because I don't want him using the kids to patch his life. I've been thinking about my own emotions. I'm still mad, but I'm starting to see that clinging to that anger might hurt me more than him. My therapist says forgiveness isn't excusing him, it's freeing myself from his mistakes. I'm not there, but I'm focusing on what's best for Ella and Liam long term. If Mark keeps showing up, maybe he could have a small role, but it's their call, not his. I'm still documenting everything and have a lawyer ready if needed. My mom's now fully behind me, and my sister's been a rock, watching the kids so I can breathe. The kids are doing great. Ella's got an art show soon, and Liam scored his first soccer goal. Those moments keep me grounded. So, AITA for keeping Mark at a distance. I think I'm protecting my kids, but I wonder if I'm too rigid. I'll update if anything big changes. Thanks for sticking with me through this wild ride.
I'm in Nashville, and you're a titan, raising Ella and Liam through cancer, while Mark bailed. His payments don't erase 6 years, supervised visits only if kids ask.
Mark's actions were trash, abandoning you during cancer, ignoring the kids. You're a hero for rebuilding. His payments are something. Hold firm until Ella and Liam decide. No visits unless they're ready.
I'm a mom, and your story cracked something open in me. I've held my kids through my own dark days, but nothing like the chemo hell you endured, still being everything for Ella and Liam while Mark vanished. That kind of betrayal sinks deep. It's not just absence, it's abandonment when you were fighting to live. His tears now, his payments, they're pebbles against a mountain of pain. I've learned forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, but trust? That's earned, and he's got years to go. Ella's anger is her truth. Liam's hope is so fragile, you're right to shield him. I rushed to forgive an ex once, and it cost me peace. Make Mark prove himself, consistent support, no shortcuts, before he gets a chance. Terria, you're a warrior, building a life of art and soccer dreams, and I'm in awe of your strength. Keep those boundaries tight.
I'm pissed for you. Mark's a deadbeat who left you bald, sick, scared you'd die, and now wants back in. Nah, I had a dad like that. Ella's pain hits home. His therapy's nice, but he was with someone else while you fought. Keep him out, maybe letters for Liam later if he's stable. You're a legend for giving those kids a good life.
I'd keep Mark out. He ditched you during chemo, left Ella crying. Therapy's nice, but he owes years of proof. No visits yet.
I feel you, but Mark's trying sobriety, therapy, money. Kids might want a dad later. I'd keep it slow. Maybe letters, you're in charge.
I get why you're mad. Mark left you too weak to move, Ella crying for him, but kids can heal meeting absent parents. If he keeps paying, stays sober, maybe supervised visits in a year, you're not wrong, just careful.
From New Mexico, you're not the jerk. Mark left you fighting cancer. Liam asking for daddy. He's got to show up for years, payments, therapy, before he gets near those kids.
You're my hero. You fought cancer, kept Ella sketching, Liam kicking soccer balls, while Mark ran. His EMM's guilt, not change. Bet it's 'cause his girlfriend left. You're right to block him, make him pay up. Maybe supervised visits if Ella wants it.
I'd say Mark's a loser for dating someone while you fought cancer. You're a beast for rebuilding life for Ella and Liam. No pass for him.
I'm a single dad in Orlando, and your strength blows me away. You beat cancer, kept Ella and Liam happy, while Mark was off starting over. His therapy and child support are a start, but he left you when you could barely move. Ella crying, Liam last. Ella's anger is fair, and Leon's too young for broken promises. I'd make him prove himself for years. Consistent payments, no slip-ups, before even thinking about supervised visits. You're not the jerk, you're protecting your kids from a guy who might ghost again.
You're not wrong to guard those kids. Mark ran when you were sickest, left Ella crying. His apologies weak make him earn trust.
Ella's tears over Mark leaving broke me. You're a champ for keeping life stable. He's gotta earn trust. Don't rush it. No visits yet.
I'm a dad in Wisconsin, and your story floors me. Mark bailing during a cancer fight, leaving Ella crying, Liam pointing at an empty chair, is gut-wrenching. His therapy and small payments don't erase 6 years. I get why you're skeptical. Riel's anger is valid. Liam's too young to get hurt again. But I've seen kids benefit from flawed dads. My nephew forgave his mom after years. It helped him. If Mark keeps up payments, maybe supervised visits in a couple of years, only if Ella agrees. You're protecting them, not punishing Mark.
You're a legend for surviving and raising Ella and Liam. Mark's a deadbeat who doesn't deserve a quick comeback. His therapy's bare minimum. Letters maybe only if the kids ask. Keep those boundaries, you're doing right.
Girl, your strength kills me. Mark bailing while you were bald and sick is cold. His girlfriend dumping him sparked this, not change. You're right to keep him out, make him wait years. No visits unless Ella and Liam ask.
I'm a dad, and reading this made me face shadows I've avoided. I've never walked Mark's path, but I've let my kids down in smaller ways, and your resilience humbles me. You dragged yourself through sickness, gave Ella and Liam stability while your world crumbled, and Mark chose to run. His therapy's a flicker, but it doesn't light up 6 years of silence, of Ella's tears, Liam's empty questions. I've seen what broken trust does. My brother's kids still ache from a dad who flaked. You are not harsh, you're wise, demanding proof over promises. If Mark's real, he'll pay what he owes, show up steady, maybe earn letters someday, but only if Ella agrees. You've built something beautiful, a home where kids thrive despite pain. I'm looking at my own choices harder now, wanting to be better, because you've shown what it means to carry love's weight.
I'd block Mark too. He ditched you fighting cancer, left Liam confused. You're a warrior for giving those kids a good life. No visits yet.
You're a rock for your kids. Mark's a coward who ran when you were sick. His apologies just words. Keep those boundaries tight.
But he goes, you're a powerhouse, beating stage 3 cancer, dragging yourself through chemo, being mom and dad to Ella and Liam, Mark's betrayal, abandoning you at your lowest, dating someone a month later, ghosting his kids, is garbage. I'm a dad, I'd rather die than do that. His therapy, sobriety, support, bare minimum probably because his girlfriend dumped him, Ella's pain, Liam's questions, that's on him. You're not wrong keeping him out, you're a lioness. But my sister met our dad after years, got closure. If Mark proves himself, years of payments, stability, or maybe supervised visits only if Ella and Liam want it, you've built an awesome life. Art shows, soccer goals, trust your gut, you're killing it.
Your ex-husband's a coward for bailing during chemo. You're a rock for Ella and Liam. Don't let him back without years of proof.
I think you're too harsh. Mark was awful, but he's sober. Paying support. Maybe letters for the kids later, Ella's call though.
You're a hero for beating cancer and raising Ella and Liam. All that therapy talk is empty. Keep him away until he proves himself.
I'd say your ex a loser for ghosting you during cancer. You're a beast for rebuilding life for Ella and Liam. No pass for him yet.